Alert from 24-Hour News 8.
Wicked weather, the big story tonight at 6. What's headed to West Michigan tomorrow and what's causing a major problem just to our south right now.
Lake effect snow creating this massive crash on I-94 in Michigan City, Indiana. There are at least 2 people dead. There are fears that the death toll could rise. You are looking live right now at the scene. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Susan Shaw.
I'm Brian Sterling. The crash is on eastbound Interstate 94 at the southern shore of Lake Michigan, the main route between Chicago and West Michigan. 24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks staying on top of this story for us from the live desk tonight. Leon?
That's right. We are doing that because we know a lot of folks from West Michigan use that thoroughfare every day because it is the main thoroughfare from West Michigan to Chicago. Here's what we know. The coroner right now saying that there may be more fatalities in this situation. You're looking at live pictures over the scene here. Here's the issue. There's many semi-trucks involved, and right now we are being told that there may be cars trapped underneath those semis. So this is a very active situation. Let's take you to a wider view now so you can get an idea of the emergency response there. You can see dozens of ambulances are on this scene. We're told as many as 15 semis in that crash. This is near Michigan City. Now they are bringing in cranes to lift the semis off of those cars so they can try to get to people who are inside. There are people from several counties responding here. Now the eastbound lanes will be closed for several hours. If you know someone who is heading in that direction, you'll want to give them a call and let them know that they are about to hit this mess. But we are watching this very closely. We know a lot of you use this thoroughway, so be sure to stay in touch with us. If we learn anything new within this newscast, we'll break in and bring that to you. Again, 94, the eastbound lanes, at least 2 fatalities at this point, and the fear is that there may be more. Back to you.
Leon Hendricks, thanks for staying on top of that for us. And now more on what's coming our way starting early tomorrow. Storm Team 8's tracking a nasty system.
We have team coverage tonight, and it starts with Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen in the 24-Hour Tracking Center. Bill, what are you finding?
Well, first of all, a band of snow coming in off Lake Michigan. We'll take a look at Storm Track Live, and I want to show you this band because this is the band that produced the accident, we think, the conditions that attributed to that down in Michigan City, Indiana. That's up in Berrien County, so anybody that's going to be driving along 94 west of Kalamazoo, along 196 all the way up toward the Grand Rapids area, this area of snow is pushing inland. It should weaken as it comes inland off the lake. Let's see if we can stop her and track the leading edge of that for you. Some snow showers into the Grand Rapids area before 7 o'clock and about the same around 7 o'clock for the Kalamazoo area. A live picture from Fremont shows the snow that's falling there. It's likely going to be just slightly heavier than that from Howland south, but you can understand visibilities go down, and that certainly could reduce the visibility and your travel time there. Now this is the winter storm warning, which is for tomorrow and tomorrow night. It's the lakeshore counties plus the next set of counties inland, including Kent and Kalamazoo counties. The purplish gray counties to the east are under a winter weather advisory, and this is for a combination of snow, blowing snow, and a lot of drifting snow as well. Kyle's here with how much snow we're going to be seeing.
Well, Bill, even though that snow isn't going to start falling, the new snow, we have problems to contend with in the morning. Let me first show you the snow futurecast, and I'll explain why we may have problems in the morning. By 2 o'clock, we really haven't racked up much snow. Most of tomorrow, not picking up much of anything, but tomorrow afternoon impacting the drive home and any travel plans late Friday or very early Saturday. Here along and east of US 131, we're expecting anywhere between 2 and 3 inches of snow, but you get out here along the lakeshore and we could see widespread 4 to 6 inches of snow. And that's going to be complicated significantly by very strong winds, not only causing these bitterly cold wind chills, but blowing and drifting a lot of that fresh snow that's already out there right now. Air temperatures getting down close to 0 tonight, and wind chills headed to work and school tomorrow, if we have it, are going to be in the -10 to -30 range. Very, very cold wind chills here early tomorrow morning, blowing that snow around. Then once the snow starts falling tomorrow afternoon, even more blowing and drifting coming up. But again, that's going to be a problem here Friday morning. These are the 3 takeaways for tomorrow. Snowfall begins and winds really start to ramp up early Friday afternoon. Difficult travel, and we are looking at the possibility of intermittent whiteouts, especially near the lakeshore. Tough travel throughout the day, but it just gets worse as Friday wears on.
Kyle, thank you. Stay with Storm Team 8 as this storm rolls in. We'll have forecast updates for you tonight at 10 and 11, and of course tomorrow morning on Daybreak.
There is a developing story out of Battle Creek tonight. The father of R&B superstar Mary J. Blige is in critical condition after being stabbed in the neck early this morning by his ex-girlfriend. We broke this story at 5 o'clock, and since then, 24-hour News 8's Ken Kolker has talked with the victim's roommate, who was there when it all happened. Ken joins us live in Battle Creek. Ken?
Yes, Sue, I'm at the Arbor Creek Apartments, actually Arbor of Battle Creek Apartments, and it started here early this morning with Thomas Blige's ex-girlfriend allegedly cutting all 4 tires of his Ford Explorer. That happened early this morning, according to police. Now, Blige's roommate tells us that Blige was actually awake, heard the hissing from his apartment window, ran outside, and that's when his ex-girlfriend allegedly slashed him outside, cutting his throat, arm, and stabbing him in the side, according to the roommate. Now, Blige stumbled inside and he was bleeding.
I came to his aid because he was on the kitchen floor, almost on the kitchen floor, bleeding profusely. And I had to grab towels and cover the wounds as best I could until the rescue came.
Now, Blige's roommate says that Blige actually had taken out paperwork for a personal protection order. It's not clear right now exactly what came of that. He says that the ex-girlfriend allegedly attacked him several weeks ago with a candlestick. Now, he tells us that Blige's condition has improved from critical to serious. The roommate actually just returned a little while ago from the hospital. As for the ex-girlfriend, she's alleged she's in jail on charges of attempted murder.
Okay, Ken, before you go, what do we know about Thomas Blige's relationship with his daughter, Mary J. Blige?
Now, there's been a lot written about their strained relationship, but the roommate says that they have been in contact with each other. Now, the roommate says that he believes that she already knows about what happened, but that's about all we know at this point.
Okay, Ken Kolker reporting live from Battle Creek. Ken, thank you.
A horrifying sight on I-196 this morning that may make you slow down the next time the roads get slippery. Take a look at these pictures. A van teetering on the edge of 196 in Granville. It happened this morning on the overpass over Chicago Drive. These pictures are courtesy of MLive. Michigan State Police say slippery conditions and snow that had built up along the side of the highway were all to blame. That driver was not hurt.
With this harsh winter, we know most school districts in West Michigan have already used several snow days. So we wanted to know if that factors into the decision to call off school or not. 24-hour News 8's Danny Carlson is live in Zeeland tonight with what she's learned. Danny?
Yeah, well, Sue, districts in Michigan can use 6 snow days without having to make up any extra time. As you mentioned, we know a lot of districts in West Michigan have already used 3, some a little less, some a little bit more. But we wanted to know if how many days that have been used factors into whether or not you call off school for a day.
After you've used a couple of your snow days,
Sure.
Is there a higher threshold for you to call off school than in the beginning of the season?
Yeah, no, and that's a great question. They'll think, well, I've only got 1 left, we better save it. Well, we just can't work that way. I mean, student safety is so important.
That's the same answer we got from 11 other West Michigan school districts today.
A lot of folks will assume I look out the window and decide what to do, and it's a pretty lengthy process.
And it seems the how and when districts make the snow day decisions do have similarities.
4 o'clock, we have people out on roads, and
Usually starting early in the morning on the roads, talking with other area district superintendents, trying to make that decision as early as possible. But while the process may be similar, and some things like super low wind chills or large amounts of snow will likely always shut schools down, on a day like today, when the decision to close isn't as cut and dry, specific districts look at different things. For example, Holland schools were closed today. Reps there say a big reason for that was that they have so many walkers and only about half of city sidewalks were clear, whereas Zeeland looks more at subdivisions, making sure people can drive out onto the main road to take their kids to school.
Are you ever really sure that you definitely 100% made the right decision?
oh no, you're always second guessing yourself. In fact, when you get here to work, when you know that the responsibility for all these lives and safety lies here, you're never completely confident in the winter.
And talking to Zeeland superintendent today, he says the only time the threshold may be a little bit different is if in the beginning of the year when it's just starting to snow, people aren't used to driving in it, they might call for a snow day when today in January, when we're used to driving in the snow, that they wouldn't call for in the middle of the winter time. Now, as I mentioned, we did reach out to several West Michigan school districts. We have the responses from the ones who responded to us, about a dozen or so, on our website right now, woodtv.com, if you want to check out what your district said. Live in Zeeland tonight, Danny Carlson, 24-Hour News 8.
Police tonight say that a Taco Bell employee helped himself to a customer's credit card numbers and went on a shopping spree.
Now they're concerned that there may be more victims out there. And 24-Hour News 8 Steve Kelso is here to explain this rather low-tech scheme, really.
Really low-tech. You know, police say it was as simple as jotting down a couple of numbers on a piece of paper, but it's what the suspect is alleged to have done next. That's pretty unusual. It all started here on January 10th. Police say once the employee working at the drive-thru had the customer's numbers, he hatched a unique plan. It actually worked for a while. He would present a non-working credit card to a merchant. When it was declined, he would pretend to make a call to the credit card company. After the call, he would tell the clerk that it was all a mix-up and the company gave him this number to use. He would then present the handwritten number and the sale was tendered. Management at the Taco Bell declined the opportunity to speak with me today, but police say management is cooperating with them. All of this came to light when the victim noticed the charges while going through bank statements. The case has been forwarded to the Muskegon County Prosecutor's Office. Police recommend that if you have visited that Taco Bell recently, you should check your bank accounts. A lot of banks now offer text or email alerts if there's suspicious activity on your cards. Police say do not ignore it. Report all of that to law enforcement.
Steve, thank you. Coming up next, we'll hear from U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow, who was in West Michigan today, urging action against Asian carp.
And a band of lake-effect snow coming on shore. Here's Storm Track live. It's snowing in Muskegon, Grand Haven, Holland, Saugatuck, all the way down to Benton Harbor. Watch for icy spots as this band continues to move inland. Near whiteout conditions are possible tomorrow and tomorrow night. I'll tell you more about this windy winter storm in just a few minutes.
Asking the questions, questioning the answers. This is 24-Hour News 8.
How do you stop Asian carp from invading the Great Lakes?
The Army Corps of Engineers has options, but are they moving quick enough? 24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey says one lawmaker says that answer is no.
That's right, guys. U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow was in Granville this morning, one of the stops on her tour trying to drum up more action on Asian carp prevention.
Time is of the essence. I personally think we're on borrowed time right now.
Now, we've all seen the pictures of the skittish, up to 100-pound fish wreaking havoc. Something as simple as a boat motor gets them jumping out of the water. While there's no evidence they're made it into the Great Lakes yet, there is evidence they're getting close. The Army Corps of Engineers has come up with 8 options to stop the invasion, but the senator questions the Corps' priority when it comes to battling the flying carp.
It's been very frustrating to me to be, one project of many across the country and not have the Army Corps and others understand how this is a top priority.
Now, you can weigh in on the Army Corps' options online until March 3rd. We have a link at woodtv.com.
Joe, thank you. Storm Team 8 tracking a winter storm now. Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen has more on that. Plus, we have a look at your 8-day forecast. It's all coming up next.
Once again, we want to share some of these live images from that massive pileup on Interstate 94 in Michigan City, Indiana. Looks like the chopper getting reoriented as it zooms back down onto the interstate. This is on the eastbound lanes. Anyone coming back from Chicago or back from Chicago into West Michigan could be impacted by this. At least 2 people are dead. We're hearing, though, that there are cars trapped under all of the semis. There may be more dead or hurt once they're able to get those semis off the cars.
And so far, we have received no word that any West Michigan residents are involved in this, but we will continue to monitor the situation throughout the night. Authorities trying to assist the people there on the ground, and we'll follow all the details for you. We'll bring them to you with updates at woodtv.com. We'll have reports for you at 10 and 11 tonight.
Always tracking, always alerting. This is Storm Team 8.
Well, this is the band of snow that contributed to that big accident down in Michigan City, Indiana. We've had reports of about 4 inches of snow coming out of this band as it's worked its way to the east. And again, along I-94, it's snowing right now, along 196 all the way up to about the Hudsonville, Zeeland area, and along the Lakeshore, Muskegon, Grand Haven. Now, most areas will probably see 1 to 2 inches with this as it comes on shore right at the water. This will weaken as it continues to move to the east and gets farther away from the water. But we'll stop her here and see if we can track just a little bit for you here. We could see some snow flurries here into Grand Rapids after about 7 o'clock and into Kalamazoo also at around 7 to 7:30. Like I said, I do expect just some very light accumulations out of this. The big news is the storm that's coming, and that starts tomorrow with lots and lots of wind. Winter storm warning for the Lakeshore counties plus the next set of counties inland. That includes Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. The counties that you see there in that purplish color are under a winter weather advisory. For this evening, if you're going out, just a few flurries, and if you got a choice between going out this evening and tomorrow evening, pick this evening. Travel will be very difficult here come tomorrow evening. Here's what we're tracking for you. First of all, for this evening, a cold evening. There will be some snow there, mainly at the lakeshore. A very windy day tomorrow. We're going to get some wind gusts to 40 miles an hour. There will be a considerable amount of snow and drifting snow, and that could produce whiteout conditions. Best bet for that would be in rural areas and also close to Lake Michigan. Our current temperature is at 14. We expect these temperatures to fall down into the single figures tonight. Winds, not much of a factor right now, but winds will start to increase before we get to daybreak, and these wind chills will be dropping tomorrow to around anywhere from 10 to as low as 30 below zero in some of those gusts. Now, it's not snowing here at 7 o'clock in the morning, though there's probably some drifting snow. As the day goes on, it's very windy here at noon. Not much snow coming down, but probably a lot going sideways in that strong wind. Then the wind increases, and you can see these darker blues. Tomorrow evening, 9 o'clock, snowing just about everywhere, and with that very strong wind, a lot of blowing and drifting snow to go along with it. In terms of total snowfall from this system, we're expecting as much as 3 to 6 inches total, but snowfall amounts will diminish as you get a little bit farther east. This is 6 o'clock, and snow really picks up again as we head into the evening hours here with about 3 inches total Grand Rapids to as much as 6 inches along the lakeshore. During the day tomorrow, snow, blowing snow during the late afternoon, temperature only 12 in Grand Rapids, wind chill at 10 below, near whiteout conditions possible here at the lakeshore with a high temperature of around 13. Again, tomorrow, the winter storm warning for tomorrow and tomorrow night, extremely windy. We get another batch of snow here on Sunday, which could be another 2 to 4 inches. And look at those cold temperatures here into Monday and Tuesday as the Arctic Express continues. We'll have lots more for you straight ahead.
It is winter banquet night for the West Michigan Whitecaps, always a special night because it brings the Tigers to town and makes you realize spring isn't too far behind. But tonight's banquet will be a special one because it's the first one since the fire that destroyed part of Fifth Third Ballpark. Well, this morning, 2 Tiger front office officials paid a visit to the ballpark to inspect the damage. Dave Owen, Director of Player Development, and Dan Lanetta, Director of Minor League Operations. And this seems to have hit them just as hard as it hit Whitecaps fans and the organization.
It was very saddened by the news of the fire, and we share the heartache and the heartbreak that the Whitecaps in the community are going through with the fire that took place here.
You know, we have such a wonderful relationship with these guys. It was just really made you very, very sad.
All right, well, the Whitecaps winter banquet now being held at DeVos Place. Casey Jones is there, joins us live. And Casey, I'm going out on a limb and saying this will be a memorable and emotional night for the Whitecaps and their fans.
Yeah, Jack, you think of everything they've been through in the past 3 weeks with the fire leading up to this. Now finally time to put baseball in front of them and move forward with it. And a big reason that they sold 900 tickets for this, the second most ever for a Whitecaps winter banquet, is because they have the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner here with them tonight at the DeVos Place. That's Max Scherzer. Max, kind enough to take some time to join us. And Max, you got to be obviously approaching this season a little differently, maybe being the reigning Cy Young Award, a little more pressure.
No, not at all. For me, I always approach it the same way. My confidence is the same. Nothing changes that. And all I'm going to do is try to go out there and be better, do things a little bit differently, and try to find a way to better myself and have a better 2014.
Now the elephant in the room for some Tiger fans is we only have you for at least one more year. Any works with your contract extension with the Tigers or anything like that?
Hopefully we can get something done by spring train. If not, I'm comfortable that we can get something done after the season in November because the Tigers have done that before, and for me, it's all about winning. If I can win here in Detroit, that's where I want to be.
And lastly, Dave Dombrowski's done a great job of revamping this team, trying to get them back to a World Series. Coach Brad Ausmus and some other players in tow. Is this team now put together to win a World Series?
Yes, but I've also thought that the past few years. Dave has done a great job of assembling a team here in Detroit that's always capable of winning the whole thing. The same expectations are here in 2014. But we got to go out there and take care of business first, because the Royals and the other teams in the division are very good, and we got to win the American League Central first.
Well, Max, we appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time, and enjoy the banquet tonight.
All right, thanks for having me.
Jack, back to you.
All right, thank you, Casey. Unbelievable news out of East Lansing today. Michigan State forward Brandon Dawson broke his hand during a film session. Yeah, Dawson slammed his hand in frustration on a table while he was watching game film. He will need surgery. He's expected to miss 4 to 5 weeks. Dawson was averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds a game. Obviously will not play against Michigan this weekend. Back with more right after this.
Update on the winter storm warning comes tonight at 10 and 11.
Okay, we'll be ready for that, Bill. Thank you. See you tonight.